What's up, everybody? This is Nick, and once again, welcome to the Pull Up a Chair podcast. I am joined by my regular co-host, the man who is always here for me, just always ready to go.
So nice.
I know, buddy.
So nice.
This is the day.
And
This is a great day.
Well, my name is Eric. Thanks for letting me say that.
The man, the myth, the legend,
John Cena.
Okay.
Oh, that's not his thing?
Apparently, I've got a guest host today, John Cena.
Are you into wrestling?
I'm not.
I am not either.
You can't see me.
But I love John Cena. I know nothing about wrestling, but I know a lot about. I know some about John Cena, Hulk Hogan, Andre the Giant, of course, from one of my favorite movies, Andre the Giant, The Princess Bride.
Right.
So it's interesting what you learn.
I know a little bit about John Cena. I have learned recently, thanks to him, about Gladlock zipper bags. I think it is that he's doing commercials for. You know what? Maybe I haven't learned a thing from John Cena. Maybe that's the takeaway here. I haven't learned anything from wrestling.
You know what? I don't watch enough. I guess I don't watch enough commercials. Growing up, commercials were. They were different. Commercials were
animated. Well,
no, I'm not saying they were better or worse. You had to sit through them. You had to tolerate them. But I don't feel like I mind as much.
But now you have ad blocker that gets you past the commercials.
Oh, I'm talking about on network TV, and I guess on cable too. But it's just this thing that commercials seem like very different than they used to be. One, well, an average a 30-minute TV show. 30-minute TV show back in the 80s had 5 minutes of commercials.
Okay.
Now that has up to 10. So that's double the commercial, double the fun. If you remember Double Mint Gum.
I do remember Double Mint Gum. I wouldn't say that was double the fun. I will say this, though. When I was a child and I had my little porta potty with me.
Yeah, in your pretty pajamas, eating your cereal.
No, this was when I was expelling the cereal.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Second half of that.
When I was a kid and I had, they had those little potty chairs that you walk around with.
Well, I didn't do that. But
I, as a child, whenever commercials would come on, I would drag my little potty chair in there and drop trowel. No matter, it didn't matter who was there, but drop trowel and sit there and watch commercials while I did my business. And that's the way I watch commercials, man. I would sit there and I would. As I
dump and watch.
Yeah, dump and watch.
That sounds dump and watch. That sounds like it sounds like an '80s infomercial for something.
It either sounds like that or a bad watch brand.
A bad watch brand.
Yes, that was
a dump and watch. That sounds disgusting.
It times when it's time to go to the restroom. What time is it? It's dump time.
Dump and watch. All right. Today is a special podcast dedicated to. No, not really that special.
Eric, what are we celebrating?
Well, we talked about cable and commercials just now, but there's a special channel that came out of the 80s and was highly influential in the 80s, 90s, and somewhat today, less today. But we're talking about MTV.
I know what you're talking about.
Oh no, what do you think I was talking about?
I was gonna say the CW.
When did the CW start?
I don't know. I think that was 90s.
Yeah. It was the WB at one point, right?
Right.
Right? WB?
I thought it was the WB now.
Is WB now? I don't know.
I'm lost.
It's all like teenage drama shows, even tied with superheroes now. I don't really know.
Speaking of teenage drama shows.
Back to MTV.
So
MTV, August 1st, 1981.
1981, which means we just celebrated yesterday. This is Wednesday, August 2nd.
Yes.
Yesterday, we celebrated the 36th birthday or anniversary or whatever you want to call it of music television.
And the 30th year of them not playing music videos anymore.
Something like that. It's probably close to that.
Yeah, I'm not sure when they they still do it a little bit, I bet, just for some reason. Even though they changed their name in 2010 to not be music TV, music
Just to
television,
be
MTV.
MTV.
It doesn't stand for anything anymore. It's just that is their.
They never stood for anything anyway.
They,
However,
I like that. I like that. I like that.
However, boom, boom. Thank you. I'm out. Nick Cole going home. All right. So we had this channel. Now, I'll be honest. I didn't get to see much of it as a kid because it was the Devil's channel. The devil ran MTV.
And still does.
And possibly.
Well, in my town, the churches got MTV pulled off the cable provider. I didn't have cable. I lived too far out in the country. But yeah, they got it pulled off after, like, I think they had it for maybe a few years, and then maybe just a year, and then it got yanked off, and it came back in the late 90s. And by the time I was in high school, it was back.
Right.
I know that for sure because people incessantly talked about shows I had never heard of because I didn't have cable. They would talk about Ren and Stimpy, Beavis and Butthead. What was another one? Deathmatch. What was that Deathmatch thing?
Oh, yeah, Celebrity
Deathmatch. And I was like, I had no idea. I'd pretend to know what they were talking about. I'm like, did you see Beavis and Butthead? It's hilarious. I'm like, yeah.
Where they watched the video. The only thing I ever knew of Beavis and Butthead was seeing the commercial. Like, I would see, like, a commercial for it, and they'd be sitting there, like, watching a video, and I'm like, yeah, you mean the guys that watch videos? And I try to play along, like you're talking
Yeah,
about.
I didn't know what it was.
I would try to play along with my friends and be like, yeah, Beavis.
I couldn't tell.
Cornholio.
Yeah, well, one thing I do appreciate about Beavis and Butthead, it did bring us King of the Hill.
Well, it did.
And I enjoyed King of the Hill during it. I still watch it. When it's on, I'll watch King of the Hill. I really like King of the Hill.
Well, that King of the Hill was a great show.
Yeah.
But you did mention a second ago that they didn't show music videos. However, according to my sources.
Oh, you got some sources?
My inside sources.
What?
Oh, man, I always have a man on the street that knows what's going on.
Man on the street.
You're
in your ivory tower over here.
Hang on. It's just coming in. Jimmy on the street.
Jimmy on the street.
Jimmy, I can barely hear you. You're saying that as of April, hang on, Jimmy. You're
breaking up.
You're breaking up.
Scroll.
April of 2016 that they said that they're going back to music television. Is that correct, Jimmy? Okay, Jimmy, thank you. And they're bringing back TRL in October of this year.
Oh, Total Request Live. I know what that is. That's kind of what... I don't remember who started hosting that, but I always remember Carson Daly was the man I always knew that kind of came out of.
Oh yeah,
TRL.
Yeah.
You're okay?
No, I'm still talking to Jimmy.
Oh, Jimmy's still talking to Jimmy.
He's giving me just
giving you a
whole
thumbs
rundown of.
No, I got you.
Now he's grocery shopping, so I'm just hearing this in my ear. Really
checking out.
Yeah. Beep. That's all I hear is. All right, Jimmy, I'm gonna let you go. All right, back to the podcast.
Oh man, thanks for coming back, Nick. We missed
Not a problem. Well, no, I'm just, buddy. I gotta. When Jimmy calls in, you gotta answer, man. He knows. He knows people and he knows things because he's Jimmy on the street.
You gotta have priorities.
Yes.
I'm glad Jimmy's one of those to you, and I'm not.
Well, buddy, I just want to say, Jimmy knows.
And our listening friends.
When Jimmy knows something, you go to Jimmy.
You go to Jimmy. Now, okay, everyone knows this one. What was the first video that played on ye olde MTV?
Well, sir, that was a little video.
Here, let me highlight it for you on the website that we're looking at. There you.
It was by the Beatles.
The Beatles. It's a U, not
We all live in a yellow submarine.
Oh yeah.
No, I mean this is actually something I knew beforehand.
Yeah, it's pretty common knowledge.
I mean, yeah, it is. Plus, I always found it kind of funny that the first video they showed was "Video Killed the Radio Star."
Yes, by the Buggles.
I'll be honest.
Boogles. I don't know how to say it.
I don't know who.
That's the only
who sang it. The Buggies.
The Bug.
Yeah.
Buggles.
The Buggles.
The Buggles.
I don't know. You know what, Buggles? God bless you. We miss you, Buggles.
Oh, Pat Benatar's "You Better Run" was the next video aired. I did not know that.
And Rod Stewart was third, apparently.
Yeah, she won't
dance with me.
Wow,
that was quite the lineup to start off with. Video Kill the Radio Star, You Better Run, and She Won't Dance with Me.
Yeah, I think if if I remember reading right, they only had something like 160 videos to choose from, and they just kind of cycled through them.
Oh, did they really?
Yeah, now MTV started. It didn't. It's based out of New York, but it only aired in New Jersey for the first couple of years because they weren't sure it would be successful. So they spent the first few years just airing it to a few thousand people in New Jersey.
Excuse me, sir.
Wow, refining their.
I apologize.
That's all good. Refining their, I guess, kind of their programming.
Yes.
So I was like, oh, that's really pretty smart.
So they started off in a small audience, New Jersey.
Well, even in a small.
So basically they just aired it to all of New Jersey.
Jersey's pretty densely populated. I don't know. Maybe. I don't know much about that.
Not at the time.
Not at the time.
So, but they played those 3 videos. They started off with a kind of countdown. You know how channels used to sign off?
Yeah.
You know how they used to sign off back in the...
No, I remember that. And they'd have the Indian symbol, or just go to the rainbow, the spectrum, the rainbow thing for testing the everything's working.
They'd show like the American flag and
play our national anthem.
And so they did something at 12:01 a.m. They did something similar to this. They kind of did a video. It was launched with "Ladies and Gentlemen, Rock and Roll," spoken by a guy by the name of John Lack, that played over footage of the first space shuttle launch, countdown of Columbia, and the launch of Apollo 11. They were also going to use Neil Armstrong's quote, but he didn't give permission.
Oh yeah, one small step for man, one giant leap for something.
No. The one where he first took off and he was like, "Hold on,
what?
No.
Yeah,
I gotta pee." No,
he was a test pilot.
Yeah, but they couldn't get permission to use that, so instead it was cut from the original thing. But it was, so they showed this video. Plus there was a rock tune composed by Jonathan Elias and John Peterson playing over the American flag, changed to show the MTV logo, which kind of became a famous thing for them, where you see they had the astronaut
jumping and playing the flag. Yeah. That's their award symbol. The astronaut is MTV. When you get a music award, it's what the.
Oh really?
Yeah.
See, I didn't. I don't.
You don't watch the MTV whatever awards? They got the VMAs and they got the MTV Music Awards.
No,
the VMAs is a box of golden popcorn, I think, and I think the Music Award is the astronaut.
Okay. All right. Well, that would make sense.
Just trust me. Trust me, it is.
Buddy, I am trusting you. But they did have a rotation of their music. I mean, they, like you said, they had 160 songs.
Something like that. That's a guess. I was just wagging it.
And a lot of those included people like Adam Ant, Bryan Adams, Blondie. But they also had a guy who, this kind of made his career, kind of helped his career immensely, by the name of Al Yankovic. I don't know if you've heard of
Al Yankovic?
I don't know if you've heard of this guy. He's
what?
I believe he's Swedish.
Swedish. Oh, Yankovic. The royalty Swedes.
Right. Of the Yankovic clan.
The
clan of Yankovic.
Well, what is he known for?
He apparently parodied artist videos. Hang on. Jimmy
on the street, guys.
Jimmy's telling me he did a song called he did a song called Eat It.
Oh.
And I'm fat.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've seen those.
Okay.
I've seen those videos.
All right, Jimmy, you're breaking up again.
Okay. No.
Jimmy, don't get hit by a car, Jimmy.
Obviously, Michael Jackson. A common fact is I would have never thought that Michael Jackson was the first black guy on MTV. But that's what everything is like. You might think Michael Jackson was the first black guy on MTV, but you're wrong. Well, I'm like, I never thought that, for one.
Who was the first black guy on
The
MTV? then?
bassist for who was it? He was a bassist for a band. I'm trying to remember the name of it off the top of my head. I'm just gonna look it up because I can't think of it.
That's fine. You
So-
go ahead and look that up.
Okay, well, thanks. I will do that as soon as I care. So moving on. No, there's 116 videos during their first broadcast. That's it. 116 videos. Some
Okay.
videos repeated though. So let's say average is 100 on their first broadcast. That's not too bad. Not too bad.
No, I mean it would honestly fill up a full day. They also had in 1983 the film Flashdance was the first film that promoters excerpted. They
Excerpted.
Excerpted.
I'm not familiar with the term excerpted. Could you give me a definition of
I
excerpted?
can. It's to excerpt.
To excerpt. I feel dumb. Can you give me a definition of to excerpt?
Hang on. Jimmy on the street is here, and he says that Eric, stop asking questions. Thanks, Jimmy.
Jimmy, good man, Jimmy. I've never
Jimmy.
met the man, but I know every time he comes around that
You know, there's a good possibility you'll never meet the man.
I hope-
Jimmy is like, you know,
What
the
is Jimmy
guy
like?
that he
What is
wants
he
to
like?
remain anonymous. He doesn't want to know. I can't reveal my sources.
You can't. It sounds like he doesn't want them revealed.
But they excerpted
They excerpted.
scenes out of the movie, and they just
just like Muppet Babies excerpted scenes out of Star Wars and Indiana
Yes.
Jones. They excerpted.
they excerpted.
Why didn't you just say that? That
Well,
gave me a better example of excerpted
I
that I
did.
could understand.
Much like the Muppet Babies,
Excerpted.
the creators of Flashdance excerpted scenes out of their own movie to be able to show to people, or to run on this new fancy music channel.
All right.
So I mean, there was a lot that they did with this channel early on.
Let's get off the facts. What do you today when I say, "Hey, MTV, what do you think?" Just like what comes to your mind? Let's get off these little facts that we pretend like we know. When I say MTV, I'm like, "Hey, tell me about MTV, Nick. What do you say?"
I love how you say, "Let's get off these facts," and then you pull up a website that says 25 fun
Oh
facts.
yeah.
You
Well, I
know.
was just seeing if there's anything. Most of the stuff we've already went over, and the rest of them are pretty much garbage.
Well, yeah.
But I was just making sure. I didn't want any of our viewers to miss out on a fun fact from another website.
So you're asking me, when I think MTV...
When you think MTV,
Well, there was a show that I know came on that channel, and it got a lot of news and that sort of thing, called something like The Real Life, or they got a lot of people and they lived in a house. And honestly, they found some of what
what was that? I remember they had to like spend extra money on all the blurring out stuff.
Right.
They spent so much, like the budget for the entire show's budget went to blurring out nudity.
Right. And I think part of the premise of the show is that you found the trashiest people you could, and you put them in a house. It was something like Real World. It just came up there.
Okay, and that turned into eventually Jersey Shore.
I mean, yeah, basically.
So was Real World the first kind of like that kind of genre? What we now know today as
It's like reality TV.
Reality TV. What was reality TV before Real World? Was Real World considered the first reality TV show?
I mean, it may have been. I'm not honestly too sure.
I'm just gonna kind of
You're gonna kind of look that up and see. I mean, I don't know if it was. I do know. I mean, I remember this show because people actually became. I mean, these trashy people. And if you happen to be listening and happen to be on this show at some point, I stand by my statement.
Well, I'll say this. So Real World came out in '92. I was a big deal, and the first
You were a big deal in
no,
that?
I was not a big. I'm not a big deal today either.
Oh.
Surprise, surprise. But it came out in '92. The first like reality show that I can think of was Survivor. That was on network TV. But
Right.
I would say Real World is the first reality show. It says it was based off a documentary series, a PBS documentary series called An American Family. So,
Well, I mean, it wouldn't shock me if there was other reality TV shows back in the day, because I mean, I don't know the history of reality TV shows. I mean, that's kind of the, I mean, let's see. In 1983, HBO broadcast An American Family Revisited.
Okay.
That apparently is one of the, this series apparently inspired the MTV reality series The Real World.
Yeah.
So apparently the first, I mean, I guess what would be considered reality TV. I don't know if this was a series or just a special. It was An American Family Revisited, The Louds 10 years later.
Wow.
And I mean, this opened up a whole new door to things. I mean, and I guess that The Real World kind of,
it kicked the door down, I guess.
right.
I mean, you always have those shows. Like, I didn't know any of those shows. I'd never heard of them, really. But I do know The Real World. And then for my generation, or at least for me, that kicked the door open for reality TV shows. Because I knew about that 92. I was in middle school.
Right.
And I knew about The Real World, even though I never watched it.
Well, the only reason I knew about The Real World is because they actually reported about it on the news, just talking about, you know, what the kind of morals, which, I mean, that was a big thing in the 80s and 90s, was talking about the morals that kids saw on these television shows. And that was one of the shows they brought up.
Yeah. Was
this Real World television show where, I mean, you just, like you said, they spent extra money on the blurring. They
had to, or they couldn't air it.
Right. I mean, that's the thing, is it's this show where you just found, I mean, they really did find some of the people that
unique
personalities.
Yeah.
I hang on. Jimmy's calling him trashy.
Oh, Jimmy, he's a rascal.
He is, he's rascal. Jimmy is. But I mean, this is one of the things I vividly remember about this station. Other than, you know, the music videos, it is kind of one of the first things. I mean, the other thing that we can point to here, and I'd have to look this up, but no, I mean, okay, never mind. I was wrong about that.
Oh, I don't know.
I'm not even going to bring it up because I don't want people saying, Nick, you're dumb.
Oh, okay.
Even though they probably will anyway.
Well, I mean, I got a fan club, and that's kind of the name of it.
Well,
it's like less of a fan club for you, more of like,
what do
Nick,
you
we all hate
about
you.
This?
Huh? What do I remember?
What do you remember when you think MTV? What do you remember or think of?
What I think of is it got banned in my hometown. We had, like, you know, the little local cable network, and all the parents, and I can't remember. Wasn't South Park? Was it South Park originally on MTV?
No, that's always been on Comedy
Central. I guess it must have been Beavis and Butthead, because I know they didn't like South Park either. Must have been Beavis and Butthead that got it banned. Because there was a segment, I think it was called Liquid Television or Liquid, something like that. Liquid Television, like kind of their animated.
Okay.
Their version, well, like kind of what Adult Swim was. I mean, Adult Swim's huge now, but kind of how Adult Swim started. A lot of independent animators and independent shows. And that's kind of, I think that's where Beavis and Butthead came from. If you know more than I do, comment and let us know. So it got banned. My friends, they would talk about it. It came back eventually, and they would talk nonstop about Beavis Cornholio, and I hated it. When I finally saw Ren and Stimpy and Beavis and Butthead, I could not stand the shows. Now,
why couldn't you stand them? I mean, obviously it's highbrow humor.
I was just gonna say, a little too lowbrow for me, because I'm so hoity-toity, I guess.
Even at, how old were you when you saw him? Like,
I was
15, 16?
Yeah, I mean, 14 to 16, I will say. I was just like...
And Eric with his cup of tea is like, this is way too lowbrow.
Dipping my biscuit in my tea.
Yeah.
Crunch.
I can't believe that they make this kind of trash.
What drivel. And so, I would go to a friend's house, and they'd show me it, and I was like, oh, that's hilarious. Because I wanted to belong and not be the guy already was like the shortest one, and I lived in the country while everyone else lived in town, and so they were all friends all summer and all day and all evening, and I was just like there occasionally for soccer practice and school. So I was like, I didn't want to buck the horse, I didn't want to.
Right.
So I just like, sure, that's hilarious, but I never liked it. Never liked Ren and Stimpy. Just seemed crude. Beavis and Butthead just seemed stupid. I mean, I guess that's
the point.
That's the point. I grew up on a farm, so it was like chores and getting things done, and they didn't understand that. I don't think
you're sitting there watching Beavis and Butthead, going, "Why aren't they out there milking the cow?"
I'm like, why aren't they getting eggs from the chickens? Why do they have
time to watch this show?
Why are they messing with the propane guy? Poor guy.
Yeah.
Of course, I don't think he sold propane in
He's just trying to make a living.
He's just trying to be an upstanding citizen.
Right.
Yeah. I just couldn't get into it. I just could not get into it. And every so often I'll see like a clip from Beavis and Butthead or Ren and Stimpy, and I just go, eh. Now, some stuff that was inspired by Ren and Stimpy, I like. Cat Dog was pretty good. I feel like Courage the Cowardly Dog a little bit had some inspiration from Ren and Stimpy, and I did like Courage the Cowardly Dog. What else? I'm sure there's some other things that were kind of lend from those series that I like. Obviously, Beavis and Butthead. What's a show that kind of takes from Beavis and Butthead? Like Beavis and Butthead lended to some of its characteristics.
Well, you already said
for Beavis and Butthead. For Ren and Stimpy, I said, but Beavis and Butthead.
You mentioned
King of the Hill. Yeah, that was more kind of a spin-off. I'm thinking, what other series have that Beavis and Butthead feel like? Two kids, just goofing off. I don't know.
The Pull Up a Chair podcast.
Two kids.
Just goofing off.
Just goofing off, having a good time.
Two kids goofing off. That's
all we are.
That's what we are.
Oh, shucks, guys.
Two kids living a dream. Eric.
Well, dreams can be nightmares.
They can.
Or night terrors. So
now I want to point out something. This was something that I looked up earlier.
Yes.
Something that brought some people to the forefront. Some great Americans.
Great Americans. Aziz Ansari.
Aziz Ansari?
Yeah. He was a comedian. He kind of came from MTV.
No, did he really?
Yeah.
Jon Stewart had a show on MTV.
Yeah, there's quite a few writers and people that... you were talking maybe a guy who directed a few videos?
That's what I was leaning into.
I think I know where you're going.
Continue. There was a young man with a dream, Eric.
A dream of what? Explosions? And fire?
Yeah, he had horrible dreams of explosions.
Nightmarish dreams.
Kept him awake. People burning. Just things like dogs running into a field and tripping and exploding.
Oh, yeah. Who are we talking about?
I am talking about one little young fella, a wide-eyed dreamer himself, Mr. Michael Bay.
Michael Bay!
Michael Bay, kind of in the 90s through the 93 era, they kind of...
The early 90s.
This article refers to them as the rise of the directors.
Uh-huh.
You had directors like Spike Jonze, who is well-known, David Fincher... But you go down this list, and I'm not going to go through all of them. You can look it up. You go down this list, and you get to this wide-eyed dreamer named Michael Bay. Michael Bay directed quite a few videos. Just to name a few, I have a few listed here. We have Aerosmith, Falling in Love is Hard on the Knees. We have Wilson Phillips, You Won't See Me Cry. You have Lionel Richie's Do It To Me.
Good old Lionel Richie.
You have Divinals with the I Touch Myself video. So he directed all these videos.
Oh, wow. That's pretty cool.
And I also know from reading that it was because of these videos that he kind of got his first gig of directing Bad Boys.
Oh, yeah. Bad Boys is a good movie, too.
It was.
Bad Boys 2 is not good. Bad Boys is good, though.
Right. No, Bad Boys 2 was a trashy.
It was
a dumpster fire.
Yeah,
literally, because it's Michael Bay and he lights everything on fire.
Yeah.
But no, that's kind of what got him the job. Some people knew of this director who directed these videos and thought they would give him a shot. And so Michael Bay was born. We have these videos in MTV to thank.
Thank you.
To thank, sir.
Thank you, MTV. For the Transformer series.
For explosions.
Michael Bay was
explosions redefined.
Yeah, he rediscovered just explosions.
He redefined the explosion genre. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
God bless you, Michael Bay.
What else do I remember about MTV? By the time
I don't know.
I kind of got into MTV, most of it wasn't music. I never was a MTV head.
Bring
myself.
it back, MTV. Bring it back to what
they're
you
supposed to.
began with. I know, supposed to.
Oh, who else? A bunch of comedians and actors and started their career over on MTV. Here's a small list: Jon Stewart, Ben Stiller, Kathy Griffith, Aziz Ansari, all got their first gigs on MTV. That's pretty good. That's a pretty good lineup. Minus Kathy Griffith.
Well,
I just never found her funny.
No, and Jon Stewart actually, I don't know if you knew this. He went on to do a little show.
There's a show
called The Daily Show. On Comedy Central.
Yes. Okay. I'm familiar.
He did it for a number of years. Kind of a little known show, but it was something that was kind of big for his career. I'm glad to see him move on. I mean, this channel did start quite a few people's career. In fact, that picture you just had up had a picture of Paul Shearer on it.
Yeah, I did.
And I listened to a little podcast, and I'm going to promote their podcast, but a little podcast that he does called "How Did This Get Made?"
Yeah, I've listened to that.
That's actually pretty funny.
It is. Yeah. Who else is on that?
It's
that guy from Brooklyn Nine-Nine, the crazy guy.
The crazy guy.
That guy's funny.
And then Paul Shearer's wife's on there, and then they have a guest. They always have a guest.
Man, that's. I mean, I was on there. They didn't air that one yet.
They didn't air
It's in the pocket.
The Eric episode.
They're talking about pull up a chair. How did this get made?
I think they mentioned.
They tease it.
Well, they talked about that episode, how they would never show it. There was way too much cussing.
Yeah.
And vulgarity.
Well, Paul Shearer and his wife, they're pretty vocal.
Oh, no. From what I understand, it was you.
Well, I didn't understand it.
He mentioned you get a few into you, and you're just...
a few what?
A few alcohols or line... Sorry. Alcohols and lines of Coke.
Lines of Coke. Oh wow! I'm crazy.
You apparently are.
I'm crazy. All right.
You apparently are. You blacked out.
Well, I'm not gonna. I don't want to bemoan the point of MTV. It seems like we're kind of running out of material, to be honest with you.
Buddy, we ran out of material about 2 minutes into this.
I agree with that. I don't think it was a good idea to talk about something that I rarely watched. It did influence my life through my friends primarily because they were so into it. And they're much. I wonder if that has to do with why I'm just not as into music as they are. They live and breathe and eat music. What is today's now? What is MTV now like? Where do you go watch your music videos? I know where I go get mine.
Well, everybody goes to YouTube.
Everyone goes to YouTube. So why is...
Thank you, Vivo, or whatever it is. Is it Vivo?
Vivo, yeah. I don't know who started that. I'm assuming it's one of the record companies that did that. Yeah, I go to YouTube for everything.
But I mean, that's the thing is that I know people that would watch MTV and they wanted to see like one video.
Oh, and you'd sit there.
And they would just sit there and watch.
And you'd have a tape ready maybe to hit record, kind of like you did with the cassettes.
Right.
On the radio. Yeah, I remember that.
And so people
the cassette part.
People would do this and they would sit there and wait for this video and finally see it, and it's... it would happen. It's like, oh, I finally saw it.
Yeah, yeah.
But with YouTube, and that's part of the thing is that they were showing declines in their format with the music videos up to like 29% of viewership. And so a lot of the reason they went to this new show format like they did was because they were losing viewership among the younger audiences, because people could, they were going digital. they could go to something like YouTube and just go directly to the video they wanted to see instead of watching hundreds of videos.
Hundreds of videos.
Well, and think about it. Even if you just turned on the music, if something people did back then was turn on the TV and have MTV playing in the background just to have music going.
Uh-huh.
Well, later on, stations started putting out, actual stations that would play a radio station.
Yeah.
Like cable's channel started doing that.
It's cheaper too.
Even the thing that would scroll the TV Guide channel.
Yeah, it plays music.
Would sit there and play music. I remember that because you could just turn it on and it would sit there, play music, and scroll through everything.
You know what I do today? I have an Alexa, and I just go, "Hey Alexa, play this radio station on iHeartRadio," and it just starts playing it.
Right.
That's what I do now. So we're talking about the viewership declining in music videos on MTV. What do you know the most popular music videos on YouTube? One, Size Gundam Style was number one for a long time, but it just got passed by a new one. Yeah, by the Wiz Khalifa song, which is the dedication to Paul Walker. That it has Brian O'Connor in it, who is a YouTube singer.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. That's interesting. Because I knew that Gangnam Style held that for the longest time, and so
yeah, so 2.9 billion views for.
I think we had that Saturday.
We did that. That's usually a day or two after our release of our
Right.
podcast. Gangnam Style's at 2.89. Then we got a Bieber song. Sorry, we got Mark Ronson. Oh, Bruno Mars. That's a good song. Uptown Funk's is a good song. I like that. Louis Fonsi. I don't know this song.
Yeah, Louis Fonsi. Yeah.
Hey, Taylor Swift song, "Shake It Off." Enrique Iglesias. I will say this: the prettiest man I've ever seen is Enrique Iglesias. The guy is he's stunning.
Okay.
Then we got Maroon 5, Adam Levine, another good-looking guy who a lot of people say I look like, and by a lot of people I mean my mom.
Jimmy is coming back in. Jimmy is saying that no, that is not true.
Oh, is that not true? Well, it must be Enrique Iglesias they say I look like. That's one of the two. It's probably the accent. I get a lot from my.
He's saying no.
Oh,
no on that one too.
Man,
No on
that's
that
hateful. I hate Jimmy.
Jimmy is saying.
I hope he gets
people have a funny
shanked
way
on the
of saying
street.
Zach Galifianakis.
That's really. I hope at his thin state, which is still pretty thick.
Yeah, well, yeah.
I like Zach. Oh man, the first time I remember seeing a video is that he did some sort of interpretive dance skit.
Uh-huh.
I can't remember. That's the first time I ever saw him. It was. I don't know when that was. I didn't even see it on YouTube. It was on something else, and it was so funny. And there for the next couple years, I always was searching for his clips because of this weird it was an interpretive dance to an Alanis Morissette song.
Was he on MTV?
You know what? I don't know where that was shot at. I just saw it online somewhere. It was a long time ago. All right. Let's wrap this up. People are probably tired of listening to us babble about MTV and pretty much everything around it because we know so little about it.
We do. And I'm guaranteeing you there are people out there that know a ton about MTV, can tell us everything about it, every childhood memory they have of it. And I would love to read that in the comments. I would love people to comment about what they remember about MTV.
MTV. By the people who really like it, they know what we're talking about.
Now I did. Let me finish with this. I did read something that they did for the death of Prince. They did like a marathon.
Yeah.
They did a marathon where they played all of
Jazzy Jazz. Collection.
All of Will Smith and DJ Jazzy Jeff's songs in honor of Prince. No, they played all of Prince's songs. And during that marathon, they accidentally somehow slipped a Will Smith and DJ Jazzy Jeff song into the mix.
Oh, that's awesome.
So
which one did they get in there?
I don't remember. Something about girls don't like me or something. I don't know.
Did you write that one?
I did.
Oh, that's
I
a
did,
good song.
and they sang it beautifully for me.
They sing.
The music video is just me crying constantly.
It's an interpretive.
It is
music video.
It is. It's just all black and white.
It's silence.
It's raining on me, and the tears are just flowing down.
You know, there's remember what's it? Ernest. Ernest Goes to Camp.
Yeah.
There, he actually sings the song in that movie, and it talks about crying in the rain.
Yes.
Remember that?
Yes, I do remember this.
Because no one sees your tears when you cry in the rain or something like that. I can't remember what it is. Ernest Goes to Camp. I like Ernest. We'll talk about Ernest.
Girls Ain't Nothing But Trouble. That's the name of the song.
Well,
nothing
amen.
Nothing close to what I came up with.
Okay. All right.
But that's the name of the song. Anyway, thank you for listening. Eric, did you enjoy it?
I hated every minute of this podcast.
This?
I thought it was a better idea until we started doing it.
And then we both realized that our parents didn't let us
Yeah.
watch.
Oh, I didn't have access to it, and I hate most of my friends from my childhood.
Well, and my dad just said never stop on this station. He actually programmed the television not to go there.
Oh, did the skip thing where he's like this? Okay, you came in like you go to it and it just goes to the one higher or below it.
It would go 29 and 31. So as a child, I was very confused about my numbering system.
Your numbering system.
I was like, Dad, why doesn't 30 exist? He's like, shut up.
It's like your dad's like, I'm turning 30 this year. He goes, I don't know that number.
Like, yeah. Like, what is that?
Why do you always sound? You sound so effeminate when you speak as a child.
Well, that's my. I hadn't hit puberty yet. That's how we talked, Eric.
I didn't talk that way.
Well, buddy, I can't help it if you talked like a deep.
I know it's a deep.
man.
I just feel like it's a bit too effeminate.
Well,
even for I have kids and none of them sound like that.
I can't hear myself talk. Okay.
You should listen to the podcast.
Well, I can hear this, but I guess I'll hear my interpretation or my impersonation. You know my skills.
You know what you sound like?
What do I sound
Was it like it's the Family on Family Guy? There's the gay guys. It's kind of like one of those.
Oh, is it okay?
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of that.
Is it the deaf guy?
Maybe a little bit that.
Okay.
It's like
it's a combination of
kind
all.
of in
this
that.
is my interpretation
of yourself as a child.
Of myself as a child.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you for watching or listening or experiencing the Pull Up a Chair podcast. It's always a joy to bring it to you. We love it. If you have any topics or comments that you'd like us to ramble on about, we are always happy to do that.
And if you want us to talk more about MTV, we probably won't.
This is a history cast here.
This is
signing off.
This is talking more about our inability to know anything about it.
I know. Let's pick a better subject next time, Nick.
Well,
How about you pick one for
this
once?
This was a timely.
I just thought it was
because
timely,
yesterday was the birthday or anniversary or whatever.
36 years.
36 years.
I was a young pup of three when it came out. Because I was born in 79. Also 2. So 79 to 80, 81. So it came out in August. My birthday's in August. As we'll celebrate that later in a couple weeks.
Jimmy is coming in. He says, thank you for listening.
Oh, yeah, thank you.
And thank you for being here with us. Please join us again. If you liked us, he says, like and subscribe. Comment below. Tell Eric, something nice about him. Something you like about Eric. He said you can trash me in the comments.
Oh, you can join the fan club. Well, it's less fan, more club.
Oh, more club?
More
less
club
fan?
than fan, yeah.
All right. Well, that's all we have time for. Thank you so much. Eric, any final thoughts?
Not a bit.
All right. Thank you.
All right, bye.